The skeletal system, bones and joints. In this lesson, skeletal system, functions of the skeletal system, joints, muscles. We have already studied that our body is made up of cells. Cells of a similar structure performing a common function are grouped together to form a tissue. A group of tissues which work together to perform a specific function form an organ. Our body consists of many organs like the heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, etc. But these organs do not work alone. A group of organs that work together to perform a specific function is called an organ system. There are a number of organ systems in our body like the digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, nervous system, reproductive system, excretory system and skeletal system. Let us study the skeletal system in some detail. Our skeletal system is made of bones, joints and muscles. Skeletal system. The skeletal system is a rigid framework of bones that serves many useful functions. It gives support and shape to our body, protects the delicate internal organs, and helps in the movement of the body parts. The framework of bones in our body is called the skeleton. There are 206 bones in an adult body. The skeletal system consists of skull, backbone, rib cage and limbs. Limbs are attached to two pairs of girdles. Human skeleton. Skull. Shoulder blade. Ribs. Backbone. Hip bone. Rib cage. Upper limb, arm. Lower limb, leg. Skull. Skull is the bony structure of the head. It protects the brain. Skull is made up of 22 bones, 8 cranial bones and 14 facial bones. The cranial bones are joined together to form a protective frame around the delicate brain. This is called the brain box or cranium. Facial bones make up the upper jaw, lower jaw and other facial structures. All the bones in the skull are fixed, except the lower jaw which is movable. It is because of this movable jaw that we are able to eat and talk. Backbone. Skull is attached to the backbone. Backbone is also known as spine, spinal column, or vertebral column. It consists of 33 small bones called the vertebrae. Backbone protects the spinal cord by forming a strong framework of bones around it. Vertebrae can move over each other, allowing us to bend and twist our back. They also enable us to stand straight and maintain our balance. Rib cage. Ribs are thin, curved bones which form a protective cage around the chest. This is called the rib cage. It protects the heart and the lungs. There are 12 pairs of ribs in the human body. Ribs are joined to the breastbone or the sternum at the front and to the backbone at the back. The last 2 pairs of ribs are not attached to the sternum, and are therefore called floating ribs. They are attached only to the backbone. Ribs also protect a part of the stomach, spleen and kidneys. Limbs. The human body has 2 pairs of limbs: upper limbs, arms, and lower limbs, legs. These are attached to the shoulder girdle and hip girdle respectively. The arms are joined to the spine with the help of the shoulder girdles, consisting of a pair of shoulder blades and a pair of collarbones. The thigh bone, called the femur, is the longest bone in the body. It bears the weight of the whole body. It fits into the hip girdle, with a ball and socket joint and is connected to the lower leg at the knee joint. The long bones of the skeleton are filled with a soft, fatty substance called the bone marrow. Lower limbs. Upper limbs. Functions of the skeletal system. The bones that make up the skeleton give shape, support and strength to our body. They also protect our internal organs. The skull gives a strong, protective covering to the delicate brain. The soft eyeballs lie inside the bony eye sockets. The backbone protects the spinal cord while the rib cage protects the heart and lungs. White and red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow inside bones. Red blood cells transport oxygen to body cells and deliver carbon dioxide to the lungs, to be exhaled. White blood cells help fight harmful foreign organisms that invade our body. Joints. A joint is the place where two or more bones meet. Bones at the joint are held together by strong tissues called ligaments. Joints are of two types, movable and immovable. Most joints are movable. However, joints in the skull are immovable. There are four types of movable joints: the hinge joint, the ball and socket joint, the pivot joint, and the gliding joint. Hinge joint. Hinge joints move the bones only in one direction, like the hinges of the door. They allow only back and forth movement. These joints are present in the knees, elbows, fingers and toes. Ball and socket joint. In a ball and socket joint, one end of the bone is like a ball that fits into the socket of the other bone. This joint allows the movement in many directions. Examples of this joint are the shoulder joint and the hip joint. Pivot joint. Pivot joint is found between the skull and the first two vertebrae of the backbone, i.e. the joint between the neck and the head. The topmost vertebra in the neck is called atlas. This joint allows movement of the head upwards, downwards and sideways. Pivot joints also provide for the twisting movement of the bones of the forearm against the upper arm. Gliding joint. Gliding joint allows the bones to slide against each other in a gliding motion. This joint is found in the bones of the wrists and the ankles, and between any two vertebrae of the spine. Muscles. Muscles are found all over the body. There are about 650 muscles in the human body. They help us to bend our elbows and knees, chew our food, exhale and inhale air, and even make our heart beat. Bones and muscles are held together with the help of strong fibers called tendons. Muscles contract and expand to produce movement in the body. Types of muscles. There are three types of muscles in the human body. Voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles are attached to the skeleton and are under our control. They are also called skeletal muscles. They are present in the arms and legs. They help us move our arms and legs when we want. Involuntary muscles. Involuntary muscles are not under our control. They work on their own. They are also called smooth muscles. They are found in the stomach, intestine and eyes. They control actions like movement of food in the alimentary canal, the flow of blood, and the movement of eye muscles. Cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are very strong muscles found in the heart. They work non-stop through all our life without a break. They are very strong. To make E must exercise regularly our muscles strong. We must maintain good posture while